Bro. Immediately, they're switching up the narrative so fast. I told you. Bakari Sellers, Kamala is running against the oldest nominee for president of the United States in American history. I mean, the man is nearly 80 years old. And so the question is, can he serve another 4 years? I'm not sure he can. Now, every single one of these indecent motherfuckers straight up were like, Joe's not old. How dare you say that? Every single one. What did I tell you? I told you there's no fucking Biden or bust in this goddamn party. They're all just fucking ruthless machine politicians with bad fucking instincts. It didn't even take 30 seconds for these motherfuckers to switch up. They were trying to fucking gaslight us. Oh, Joe Biden is not going to drop out. You're out of your mind. He's actually sharp as a tack, okay? He's actually sharp as a tack. The moment that they fucking switch it up, what did I tell you? There were people in this fucking community that were trying to tell me, Hasan, Biden is actually really popular in certain demographics, and that the media or certain aspects of the Democratic Party are really riding with Biden. Like, no, they're not. They're just careerist pieces of shit who did not make the right calculation, okay? 2024 is the year of Hasanabi vindication so far. But I can't be the only one who's a Biden dead ender. I lied this entire time. As a obvious political commentator, as a unbiased political journalist, political commentator, I always try to tell you not what I think, but what the public wants to hear. And for that reason, I must reluctantly tell you that I will not be voting for Kamala Harris because I was riding with Biden. I'm the only one in America, in the United States of America, that was actually like, I need the 800-year-old carcass. Just kidding. Of course not, because I'm not a fucking idiot. Holy shit. All right, let's continue. Let's see what Bakari Sellers, who was selling us the idea that Joe Biden is fine not that long ago, what is he saying now?
And so I'm going to be on the phone tonight calling delegates, getting them, whipping them up, trying to get them on board for Kamala Harris. I don't think that's going to be a difficult task. In anything else, the vice president.
Where's Jamie Harrison? Where's Jamie Harrison? Bring him to me now. $100 million lost in front of Lindsey fucking Graham. Then the Democratic Party puts you on the DNC chair. Where is he? Where are you? What happened? I don't want Bakari. I want Jamie. I want to see his piece of shit. I want to see that piece of shit on television on the front lines going, yeah, everything I lied about for the past fucking like 6 months is actually, I was just lying. What are we doing? We put a motherfucker who does not know anything about campaigning, who got absolutely bodied by Lindsey Graham, an in-the-closet gay man in the fucking Deep South, who is one of the least popular politicians in Congress. Jamie Harrison dumped $100 million into that race, got fucking cumstered, and then what did the Democratic Party do? The Democratic Party went, you know what, Jamie? You're the GOAT. You lost gracefully, so you should lead the DNC. Since 2019, I said, Joe Biden has lost his fucking step. He is not the Joe Biden that would have won in 2016. He is not the right person for this fucking party. In 2019, I said that obviously I was biased. I'm a Bernie bro. I was a Bernie or buster. I was busting for Bernie pretty fucking hard. That was one of the reasons. But there was a very valid reason not to put Joe, because he was going to drop the incumbent advantage come 2024 because he was too fucking old in 2019. People knew he was old in 2019, but the media gaslit us. The media kept telling us, no, this 85-year-old man, this 800-year-old demon is actually running on the best adrenochrome you've ever seen. He's perfectly fine. Nothing is wrong. And then 50 million people watched Joe Biden look like all of our collective grandparents, okay? And then after that debate, where 50 million people watched, 50 million Americans watched Joe Biden fail to demonstrate basic competency for weeks, if not an entire month. I don't even know. My concept of time is so out of whack at this point because, like I said, 7 days ago, Donald Trump was shot, and it feels like a lifetime ago. But I think it was a month ago. For an entire month, we played this song and dance on television with donors, where all of the family members of Joe Biden were basically saying, come on, Grandpa, you can't drive no more. We have to take the car keys away from you, Grandpa. We have to. And he stood by and said, fuck no, I'm driving this goddamn car. If you can't drive a vehicle, you can't drive a nuclear submarine as the commander-in-chief. One. Number two, the only people in Joe Biden's orbit that obviously wanted him to stay in the race was like Hunter fucking Biden and his immediate family members and like 8 people in the Progressive Caucus. That's it. And Joe Scarborough. Never forget. Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, Jamie Harrison, the DNC chair, Bakari Sellers, and a couple select few members were the people that were like, no, Joe's good. I'm riding with him. Behaving like Biden dead enders as though he was the best possible choice here. And it was wild. I felt like I was going crazy. Couple years down the line, we are going to look back at this moment and go, remember when the president's like inner circle, Jill Biden, his wife, and his children, one of which is literally a convicted felon and like a person who very famously has more pictures doing crack than sober. Those were the guys who were like, you have to stay in this race, honey. When the entire country was like, what are you doing? 67% of Democratic Party voters were like, we have to swap Joe out. The entire nation was like, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? So yeah, I will be taking a fucking victory lap on this day, and I will not be nice about it. You should have known. You should have known when Hillary Clinton came out like 3-4 days ago and said, no, Biden should stay in the race. Listen, I get it. You feel like you deserve to be the president. You felt like it was your time in 2016 and you got ritualistically humiliated and refused to learn any lessons from that humiliation. And then you stuck to it. And now it sucks because there's another woman. There's another woman with a likelihood of possibly winning the presidency, as a matter of fact. And those words are never going to be Madam President Clinton. If it happens, it's going to be Madam President Harris. It's going to be Kamala Harris. And that probably just stings you right in the fucking heart. Every time you think about that, you're like, ah! And you deserve it because you're a bad person. Hillary Rodham Clinton, you are a bad person. You brought Donald Trump upon this nation for 4 fucking years. Your incompetence and all of those in your immediate fucking circle is responsible for Donald Trump. They did the Pied Piper strategy. They propped up Donald Trump. They said Donald Trump would be the best possible person to run against, and Donald Trump defeated you. Your instincts were so bad. You're like, Wisconsin, I don't need to go there. Why the fuck would I go there? You know what I mean? Oh, blue wall my ass. And for a moment, I thought this was a rerun. We have a person who's gripping on when everyone else is reading the fucking room and recognizing that he is going to most likely lose to Donald Trump. Here's the DNC chair, Jamie Harrison, only 48 hours ago. Let's see what he had to say, actually. You know what? Let me be ruthless today. Let me be a piece of shit. Let's see what he had to say. He said, just in case you didn't know, I'm still riding with Biden 2024.
The polls that are most important to me is when I hit the ground and I interact with folks. Look at the crowd that Joe Biden talked to at the NAACP.
Can you imagine bringing up crowds when you're Joe Biden and you're running up against Donald Trump? Joe Biden never in a million fucking years had the same level of fandom as Donald Trump. He did not. And he never did throughout his entire political career. Okay? And he did not when he was the vice president. That was for Obama. And he did not when he was the president. And he is the president still. The idea that you would ever bring up something that Trump is objectively good at, which is no metric of success anyway, because Trump drew significantly larger crowds in the 2020 election and still lost to Joe Biden. The idea that you would bring that up when you're running against Trump is so fucking stupid, because the reality is 67% of Democrats said that they were voting against Trump. They were not voting for Biden, whereas 60% of Republicans say they are voting for Trump. That's the difference. So for him to be like, oh, he draws a lot of crowds, like, who are you lying to, man? Who the fuck are you lying to?
These are folks who are leaders, black leaders in communities across this country.
And then bringing this up, 52% of black voters in the Democratic Party said that they want to replace Joe Biden, that they said he was not competent enough to be president even. That's also bullshit. It is 100% a cynical weaponization of identity, which Democrats love to do. They love to do it. They did it to Bernie, and they were doing it to keep Biden in the race. Biden is not black. Kamala Harris is. Fuck you mean black people want Biden? What a ridiculous fucking statement. Like, they were literally gaslighting in the worst ways possible. They were literally like, yeah, no, black people want Biden, so you're fucking racist because you say, no, a black woman should be the presidential candidate. Like, you're racist, actually. And it doesn't even fucking matter what Kamala's background or identity is in this circumstance. I'm just simply saying that, like, It was that ridiculous that they were just acting as though the vice president, which is chosen as a replacement for the president, was not good enough. But what do you expect from Biden, who literally openly said, oh, no, I'm picking a VP, not because of their background or anything, but because she's a black woman. He said that. He said that with Ketanji Brown Jackson, who I actually like. Ketanji Brown Jackson is the only defense attorney, the only public attorney that has ever sat in the fucking Supreme Court of the United States. She had qualifications out the ass. She is a better representation of the American public in terms of the Supreme Courts of the United States justices than anyone else. And they literally cut that in the most cynical way by being like, well, we put a black woman. We put a black woman in the Supreme Court. It's like so gross. If Republicans try to run the gambit of being like, we're going to sue to make sure that like Kamala is not on the ballot before the convention even happens, okay? The entire nation will collapse on them. Do you understand me? That was one of the many reasons why I said there's no fucking way that they're going to like try and hold this up in the court system. They can try. They can try because they're panicking right now. That is the worst possible thing that they can do. Why is that the worst possible thing they can do? Because that feeds into they want to end democracy. They have no respect for democracy narrative. A smart staffer, and I know many of you motherfuckers are watching me right now. If you are in those fucking rooms, that's the angle. Oh, really? The convention didn't happen? And that's how scared they are that they can't run a normal race? So they're going to try and do like the exact same thing that they did last time? Like with January 6th when they tried to do false electors? When they wanted to like do some weird court process to undermine the will of the people? Really? How about you fight on November 5th? Why are you trying to fight in the fucking court process? By any objective analysis, we witnessed a coup? Yeah, dude, totally. Totally. Yeah, they're chirping. They're chirping so hard because they know that Biden was a weak candidate. And they know that anyone that's like even remotely competent is actually going to be a stronger candidate than the fucking carcass. There's enough movement and enough momentum in the Democratic Party. They got juice right now. They got motion. Now, I need you to understand something. They can still fuck it up. And the Democratic Party always fucks it up. Okay? So these upcoming months are very important. Okay? They're very important. Kamala Harris has to basically undo a lot of the last minute motions from the Biden administration without actually creating a big enough rift in the party. It's not going to be from Kamala's side. It obviously is going to happen with competent competent administrators around her. And I really do hope that they have that. Okay. CNN, avalanche of donations pouring into Harris campaign. President Joe Biden is a patriotic American. Dude, I verbatim told you. I could have written these fucking quotes. Joe Biden is a patriotic American who has always put our country first. His legacy of vision, values, and leadership make him one of the most consequential presidents in American history. With love and gratitude to President Biden for always believing in the promise of America and giving people the opportunity to reach their fulfillment. God blessed America with Joe Biden's greatness and goodness. I told you, he is a wonderful man. We're going to preserve his legacy. I told you verbatim that's what they're going to say, and that's what they're saying. Of course. Endorse Harris now. Are you supporting Kamala Harris? Good job, Nancy. You pulled off another insurrection. Totally disappointed with the elites, the Democrats, and the MSM. Joe Biden did not deserve this hack job. I will continue to vote for Joe Biden. That's a bot, okay? That's not a real person. Get the fuck out of here. By the way, obviously, this community, well, right now we have 117,000 people in here. So this community is a little bit different. Well, right now there's probably a lot of normies in here as well. Having said that, however, by and large, this community is a little bit different than other communities. We pay a lot of attention to politics. We're kind of losers that way, right? And not just when like shit starts popping off. So what do I mean by this? Why am I saying this? Because a lot of normies that see this shift will actually register to vote. I believe it. Okay. We're brain broken. We already have made up our minds a long time ago. However, a lot of normies, a lot of people on TikTok, a lot of people that are in demographics that literally were just like, I'm not too invested in this race. It's a rerun. My life is not better. We'll actually start paying attention. And that's why it's very important. It's very important that Kamala Harris stays strong on her messaging, sticks to issues, and actually says like, look, You know, we are continuing this progressive agenda. It's bold. We are not letting the Republicans ruin democracy. We're not letting Donald Trump become a dictator on day one. None of that. And we're also restoring reproductive rights for everyone in this country. We're going to do that. We're going to fight tooth and nail. We're going to claw back those civil liberties that the Republican Party tried to take away from you.